Life has changed for millions of Americans in the decades since the 9/11 attacks. Thousands of Wisconsin soldiers have been deployed in the so-called global war on terror. Their absence has had a big impact on family members. As WUWM's Ann-Elise reports, there's been a growing concern about the well-being of soldiers' children and a rise in programs to help them.
Since the terrorist attacks 10 years ago, more than 10,000 members of the Wisconsin National Guard have been deployed, many more than once. Each time, parent soldiers have had to say goodbye to their children. One left behind is 10-year-old Fernando Quinones of Oak Creek. He says until recently, he longed to be around kids from a similar background.
Because I feel kind of like an outsider sometimes that my dad's in the military.
But Quinones says when he spends time with military kids, there's an instant bond.
We all share each other's sad stories. It's very nice.
Quinones had his chance last month to hang out with children of soldiers. The young people attended an Easter Seals camp on Oconomowoc designed to address their needs. I met him on a military show and tell day. The kids were waiting in line to climb into a Humvee where they could check out its control panel and its high-tech GPS unit.
I think it's really cool. That costs like $30,000. Usually GPS that costs like $30.
Others were learning how to heat military ready-to-eat meals and sampling them.
They're more attracted to like the grape jelly jams that we have and the cakes and the more sweeter things.
Dan Anderson is Easter Seals respite manager. He says while the camp provided plenty of activities, including scavenger hunts and canoeing, its focus was addressing life in a military family.
Mental Health America came out and they did a puzzle activity. Within this activity, they help the kids identify some of the issues that they're dealing with, whether it be fear for the life of their parent, nightmares, dealing with bullying at school, and just gave them some coping mechanisms and strategies to help deal with that.
10-year-old Elise Texador appreciated the session on journaling.
They read us a book called The Invisible String. It was about a mom and two kids who couldn't sleep, and all the other kids in the world that had an invisible string attached to their hearts, and when they were missing somebody, they just tugged on it, and then the other person could feel it tug on their heart back. When my dad's gone, I know that he's helping other kids and other people to have a better life, so we could put the invisible string between the two countries and all around the world.
In recent years, programs such as the Easter Seals Camp have sprouted up to help military children cope with loneliness, uncertainty, and fear. Those feelings, as well as extra responsibilities, can take a toll.
It isn't unusual at all for kids to have a drop in grades, for example. Sometimes they'll drop out of their normal activities, their school activities, because they're needed at home for extra help.
Sue Curtis is involved with Operation Military Kids. Several groups have assembled to run its program, including the University of Wisconsin Extension and 4-H.
Kids aren't always forthcoming with the information. They don't always tell their teachers, or they don't always tell even sometimes their peers that they have a parent deployed.
Curtis says Operation Military Kids formed after 9/11 and has a presence in all 50 states. Grants fund it. She says the program addresses the unique challenges children with parents in the National Guard and reserve units face.
A lot of times active military folks are housed on a military base or close to a military base, but when you're in Guard and Reserve, you might be the only family on your street that has somebody in the military.
So Operation Military Kids runs get-togethers all year and even provides books for libraries about military families. And the activities are not just designed to help children while parents are away, but also when they return. That's a challenge people often overlook, according to Karen Texador. Her daughter Elise attended the recent Easter Seals camp. Texador says her husband has been deployed and come home twice during the 10-year-old's life.
You think it's just this great big reunion, but then you have to get reacclimated with how everything works, and they haven't seen their parent and they're not used to them like disciplining them, and sometimes stuff like that can be a challenge. Or if the parent comes back and they have issues from their deployment, that makes it even harder on the kids too.
And even after a parent safely returns, program operators say children live with the fear that mom or dad could one day again depart for a war zone. I'm Ann-Elise, 89.7 WUWM.